And can you believe this is number 9 for Wednesdays with Walter?
Happens.
They're still going. No one's
I
tried to
mean,
kill us yet.
just like
YouTube hasn't, blown up on us, which is terrifying. But
somehow.
they've
All
been
the
better.
people out there, thank you for the numbers. We are moving up. Not sure
Oh,
how,
yeah.
but moving up.
Oh, yeah. This one, Good Pods. It's moving up that list everywhere else. Follow along. Tell you, there's a lot of good. I'm not the only. There's a lot of actual, decent, good shows on Good Pods from smaller independent podcasters like ourselves that don't have a big corporate machine behind us. And as long as I keep beating all those beautiful, fine people from MSNBC and CBS, as long as I'm ahead of them, I feel like I'm accomplishing something. Matter of fact, in the all time on Good Pods, me and Crowder keep switching back and forth between who's in front of the one every week. So keep it going on there because I mean, who doesn't love Crowder? I mean, he's straight to the point, and yeah, people have made a lot of memes about him, but swapping off with him, I think, is a good sign. Yeah, so
Some people we could be.
and follow the Twitter page, Jay Rosinski Show. I'm always sharing stuff on there, and then I share some of the things, just the dumb things that people say on there because it's amazing to see some of the stuff that comes out of people's mouths.
If I remember looking correctly, I think on the political chart this week, you were either just behind or actually just in front of Candace, I thought, if I remember reading that right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not quite sure how that happened, but I'll take it.
Hey. And again, a lot of people go there looking for independent stuff, not the big guys. So, I mean, it's just amazing that they have that many followers, though, and you could even compete with them. But again, great platform, Good Pods, lots of good shows on there. There's a few people that I follow and listen to, and everyone should because it's a damn good. He finally got on there, and I was confused. It's like Charles Stevens, like, when the hell does he get things? He doesn't care. But there he was, following along. There's some good stuff on there, and everything's on there from like movies.
I wasn't on there 10 minutes and somebody recognized who I was from the show and already had followed me. I was like, that was way quicker than I anticipated.
Yeah, it was a good thing. Again, independent stuff, music, gospel, politics, racing, sports, wrestling, Legos, you name it.
It's horse racing. Yeah. We do it all.
It's all on there though, on Good Pods. So give it a shout out. And enough babbling about Good Pods. If you guys would please listen to this and remember me. Remember me.
This is free advertising, Good Pods.
Acknowledge me. You're welcome. But yeah, there's a lot of idiocy going on. And we called all of it happening. That's really my two big things. It's the topics that we're covering today is we all told you so. We all told you so. And guess what? We also all told you so. And we're all, remember, all of you out there, to include some of the people I've seen comments from on the Twitter world who apparently have like the mental acuity of like a head of cabbage, comprehensive, ability. Yeah, we told all of you so. And people like Drew who, guess what? After you said it's all right-wing crazy lunacy, conspiracy theory stuff, him tweaking me out because of my peripheral, all I see is like, thank God I don't have epilepsy because that would have just knocked me into a seizure. Have going from his face to his picture, from his face to his picture, from his face to his picture. Strobe lighting effect.
I turned my notifications off for some reason. This thing is going crazy.
But yeah, like I don't know how many times people like that, how many like still calling us all crazy conspiracy theorists. I hate to break it to y'all. After this many things we say are going to happen, maybe you should just come to the realization that maybe we actually know what we're talking about, because I ain't Nostradamus. you know what? I just look at things and I comprehend things and I understand things, which
Well,
is what something none of you people, no one, well, sorry, not all, everyone on the left, because I actually have had decent human being conversations with people on the left on multiple platforms where we came to an understanding at the end of it. So believe it or not, that does actually happen. Most of the time, I just get my head blown off, and I just sit there, and I send him screenshots of the stuff coming out of their mouth, and just, yeah, it's pretty weird. But we were all right. We all told you so, and we're gonna get into two of the big ones. Is they're the two big topics at hand right now. But first, I believe Walter has some thoughts, and he also, after those thoughts, has some election stuff that's been coming back, which is just as stupid as we all thought it was going to be. So take it away, Walter.
First things first, I have to say this on top of everything I'm going to say because I'm hoping the other one involved goes bye-bye too. Chesa Boudin was ousted last night. Goodbye, Chesa Boudin. You are gone. No more screwing up San Francisco. Downfall to that is that the mayor is the one who picks the next DA to fill in until they have the election. I don't agree. I think they should have a special election, have it happen next Tuesday, and call it a day.
Yeah, because
you can't go. How many months is that from now till November 8th? Then it's going to be probably a 2 or 3 week deal before they find out the results. And then judging by how California works, they probably won't start that person until the beginning or the either the beginning of February or the end of January next year. So you're talking 8 months with no district attorney. You thought it was a shenanigans show right now. The shit show that's about to ensue is going to be even worse because if I might add, on top of that, if Chesa Boudin's been there this long and the mayor hasn't done anything to him, what's to make you think he's going to pick a damn good temporary DA?
Well, yeah, it was like when Cuomo got ousted finally, when he finally left in New York. It's like, what,
look who replaced him.
They're just, yeah, if we're just picking someone or going to what, it's not good. What, it actually probably going to get worse because they have even crazier people behind them. Yeah, it's not going to get better. But anyways, keep going.
Sorry.
Oh, you're
my other opening thought was June 6th. June 6th was 78 years. 2 years in a row, not one word. And I don't care what Joe Biden says or anyone that works for Joe Biden for that matter, anyone that can sit here and go against anything I say in regards to Joe Biden and his friends, kiss my white ass. Because you know why? Your boy didn't say a word last year to one person in this country or France about World War II. This year, he didn't say a damn thing to anybody in France about World War II. And this year, when he did say something to our people, it was fucking 9 o'clock. Dude, look, I'm comfortable saying this because at this point, the age those guys from World War II are, they're all asleep by 10 o'clock. Hell, it's probably said they're all asleep by 8 o'clock. So making your statement at 8:49 or 9:45, whatever it was at night, you literally missed 2 years in a row. You didn't say a damn word one to World War II veterans. And as far as I'm concerned,
hey,
you're a shit president.
Hey, on a positive,
and the rest of his fucking entourage can go with him.
Hey, on a positive note, though, apparently whoever's writing Kamala's tweets remembered the first year there in office when she told everyone to enjoy their, long weekend, didn't mention anything about why they had a long weekend. She actually said something about, like, her tweet came out and she said something about it actually being Memorial Day and why we're, at least a small snippet of why we're doing a long weekend and what it's about. So at least
do a better job than Joe.
Yeah, whoever was writing it for, glad you guys picked up on everyone biting your head off last year. Millions of people telling you to go yourself for not even mentioning us and them. It's really, all the people I'd say that we've lost and people that other people have lost. So we fall into the us. It's not about alive people, but it's for all of our loved ones that are no longer here that we served with. And, it's kind of screwy for you to not mention them at all. Just enjoy your cookouts, your long
As
weekends.
much
Go
as much as
yourself.
it slaps us in the face, it don't slap nobody in the face as bad as it does the guys that are still alive from World War II. Those guys probably sat in their bed and just cried for an hour or two because they lost a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I'm
A lot.
gonna change the topic now. I'm gonna get sad. Moving on from that. They're garbage people. They need to change their ways.
I don't want to die.
So on top of that, real quick, you want me to run through this real quick?
Yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
wait.
No,
Okay.
dude, get it out of the way now.
Yeah, I'll get this done and over with. Okay, so yesterday we ran our California elections, but before I go to the statewide elections, I'm going to go over the Dean elections. I had to find out on a different website because lo and behold, I couldn't have that one on the normal ballot site. No, wouldn't want to do that.
Why would they do that? Takes all the fun away. Sheesh.
So we got Chesa Boudin. I think it was. Where'd it go? I just had it up. Anyways, I think he got 30. Let's just say he got less than half. It doesn't really matter how much he got less than half. Anyways, he got ousted. I would like to see what's going to come out of that. Put this on. We're going to this one. All right. Moving forward in California, we got Chesa Boudin out of the way for governor. Somehow, for some reason, when I say people in California are stupid, can't ever put in words to quantify the actual reality of how stupid they are. Gavin Newsom walked away as of this morning at 9:36 a.m. in 46 seconds, just a few seconds ago. He's walking away with 56.27 votes. Sorry, 56.27% of the votes in California for governor. Mind blowing. Brian Dahl was the GOP candidate and the next one in line, and he only took 16.83% of the votes. That's shenanigans.
Well, but at least that makes, they're outnumbered like 2 or 3 to 1 in California. So Republicans, but just the fact that liberals are still,
I think it's 4 or 5 to 1 now.
That's because everyone was leaving. But mass exodus for the first time ever. Yeah, you can guys keep California. Take it. I don't want it. Except for maybe some good Mexican food. Send some of that my way, but
send that with Elon.
You can send the rest. You can have the rest of the stupid. But send the Mexican food
In and
this
out,
way.
The good Mexican food with Elon, keep the rest. That's all I'm asking for. In and outs and Mexican food. Everything else can go bye-bye.
And if you can pick up the old Riverside racetrack and Sonoma and move them over here to this coast,
that'd be real cool.
I'd
take those tracks too.
Pick them up physically and just move. I'd appreciate that, but you could then have the rest of it.
You have to move them all the way across country. Literally, just move them to the other side of that state line, please. Put them in Nevada or Arizona or New Mexico. Any of them countries, any of them states right there. Any of them countries, they're way different from California.
Yep. But anyways, carry on.
Sorry.
Gavin Newsom.
Okay, so we got Senate in California. Alex Padilla went up against
Padilla. Dude, uncultured swine. Padilla.
Yeah, Padilla. See my skin color? I can't understand that language.
Yes,
I got a better chance of pronouncing the Arabic right than that.
Hey, you lived in Little Havana with me. You know what those letters. You know how to speak that much Spanish.
Art. Now this one I'm gonna butcher. I'm gonna call it music.
There you go.
Probably wrong by far. Anyways, Alex walked away with 1.771 million votes. And Musier, he walked away with a measly 476,983 votes. Makes no sense to me, but okay.
Heyo.
Wow. There was a lot up for the House of Representatives in California. Let's just say every single district was up yesterday. Because there's probably 25 of them on the list. They're almost all of them are incumbent, Democrats. There is one Republican Ken Calvert, he's incumbent. Young Kim, Republican, incumbent. District 25 is a toss-up. Sorry, I have auto refresh for updated results. There we go. See who else up here is in, yeah. And then District 3 will be Republican. The rest is pretty much Democrats. And it doesn't really matter who wins, it's just gonna be a Democrat. But short version, Kermit Jones and Kevin Kiley will be taking each other on probably for November. District 9 is going to be Josh Harder. He'll probably win that one. That's if I don't say a Republican's name, it's probably because that is guaranteed to end in Democratic nomination. District 13, Democrat Adam Gray. District 15, Democrat Kevin Mullen. Sorry, Mullen, not Mullen. I apologize. District 21 will be Jim Costa. Shocker. District 22 will be Rudy Salas. Shocker. District 25, Raul Ruiz. Hey, there we go. Raul Ruiz. Hey, I like it. Anyways, Democrat. District 26, Julia Brownlee. Democrat.
There's a lot of them.
For GOP, we got Matt Jacobs. For District 27, GOP, Mike Garsha. Democrat, Christy Smith. Good chance. Mike Garsha is going to walk away with that one in District 27. Get ready for it. And that's saying something because that is a Southern California district. So Republican walks with it. I'll be mildly mind blown. Anyways, but shocker, that's literally the next township north of Camp Pendleton. First one off the base. Anyways, District 37. I think it's the first one off the base on the north side. Sydney Comlogger, she's a Democrat. District 40, Asif Muhammad, Democrat. District 41, GOP, King Calvert, Democrat, Will Wallens. Then we got District, holy jeez, come on. District 42, Robert Garsha for Democrat, John Briscoe for GOP, District 45, Michelle Steele for GOP. Good chance she'll win. Jay Chin, he's taking a Democrat. District 47, we got Katie Porter for Democrat, Scott Bow for GOP. District 49 is Mike Levin for Democrat, and I believe I hit. Oh, no, not all of them. Of course not. Why would I? District 1, Doug LaMalfa, GOP, Max Steiner, Democrats, and District 2 for California, Mike McGuire for Democrats, Gene Yoon for GOP. Holy shit. That's a lot of districts up. Well, California's changing in some way, shape, or form this year. Then from there, we got. Oh, before I move on, did you want to talk about any more about California?
No.
Okay. Iowa. Let's see here. For governor, GOP nominee, Kim Reynolds. Democratic nominee, Deidre DeGier. Did Senate seat there? Yes, there was. Do it. Senate, we have for Democrat, we got Michael Franklin took the nomination, and of course, incumbent Chuck Grassley took Republican. And then for House, let's see here. We have one district up for grabs. District 3, Zach Noon took the GOP nomination with 65.8% of the GOP votes. For Democrat, we have Christina Bohannon. She took 100% of the Democratic votes. Good chance she's probably a progressive.
1000%.
Um,
That's probably progressive, not like of the votes, because 1000% is physically impossible. In case anyone thought I was losing my mind there for a second.
then for District 1, that was Christina. She took the Democratic nomination, and District 1 for Republican was Marionette Miller Meeks. District 3 was Zach Noon for GOP. Sorry, Zach is none, not Noon.
I
I
don't
had to bid off
want
for that.
to die.
All right, moving to Mississippi. We have District 3 and 4 of the House is up. No governor, no Senate. For District 3, it's still up in the air. No call yet, which means that's going to go to a recount. Shocker. District 4, Stephen Palazzo. He took the GOP nomination. Did I miss something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do have one up here. See you live. And then District 1, Trent Kelly took GOP. Diane Black took Democrat. South Dakota, I don't think that's going to change much at all, if any. New Mexico, they're kind of a flat sheet blank law. If it happens, it does. If it don't, it don't. But I'll go over it. It's because that's the right thing to do. All right. So we have the only thing coming up for New Mexico is the governor race. There is 5 Republicans running for the GOP slot. Nobody ran against Michelle Grissom for the Democratic slot. The top of the line for GOP taking 58.4% of the votes was, stop refreshing. Why you gotta be accurate all the time? Sorry. The top Republican was Mark Ronchetti. He took 58.4%. Their House district, Gabriel Vasquez for District 2, which is Democrat. District 1 for Democrat is Melanie Ann Stansbury. District 1 for Republican will be Michelle Garcia Holmes. New Jersey, your favorite state. Actually, you know what? Let's do Montana real quick. Get that out of the way.
Hurry up.
We'll leave Jersey for last, just for you, Ski. All right.
Hurry up and get there.
I'm getting there. So we got for U.S. House. Oh, what did I just do? I just broke it. U.S. House for Montana, District 1. Monica Tranel, she took a Democratic slot and it's still up in the air for Republican for some reason. Right now in the lead with 41.2% is Ryan Zinke. And then at second place with 39.95% of the votes is Al Olszewski. And he's got 31,700. So I mean, he's trailing behind by like 1,000 votes. So that one will probably end up either going to a recount. I don't know. Democrat without recount, Monica Tranel. So now on to Ski's favorite state, Jersey.
Garbage state.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice, man.
The continuous road construction state. The
All
obscene,
right.
the obscene tax
So
state.
all we have available is District 1 and 7 for New Jersey. District 1, Donald Norcross took the Democratic nomination for District 1. Claire Gustafson took the Republican. District 7, Republican was Thomas Keene Jr. with 0 competition. And
No,
he's
that's-
going up against
Oh,
Democrat, whoever it is. They don't even have it listed. So I'll look into that one for you. There's your elections.
It's in New Jersey. It's gonna suck anyway. Place has been run.
Just so you know, Christy Nome without hesitation, without complication, she more than took the nomination for governor.
Shocker. Yeah, that was a
I didn't even look at it. I know it from last night. I was watching.
yeah, that was a tough battle she had to endure to get the Republican nomination again. But that was hard. That was the,
Coffee.
that was the
Maybe she
hardest thing she ever did in her entire life was getting the Republican nomination. You can quote me on that, people. I'm not making this up. That had to be hard.
Oh, sorry. Before I forget, and also next week for everybody, we will have Maine, Nevada, North Dakota, and South Carolina.
South of Carolina. South of Carolina.
Yep.
All righty then.
South of the Carolinas will be the following week.
Yes, it will.
Alabama, Georgia.
That it will. So I still find it weird that they all do it like
Carry on with you, sir.
so sprawled out like that. But we'll move on to some meatier things now that we're done talking about New Jersey, which is, by the way, full of idiots. Lots of them. They're miserable, and yet they keep voting in the same party that makes them miserable because they think it's the other party that's not in charge making them miserable.
Well, I know we talked about doing energy next.
Never anything can change. I just know that everyone I know in New Jersey is a miserable.
Well, I bring
human
up
being, so
that up because New Jersey, just like here in Michigan,
sucks.
yesterday it said the national average was, what was it, 481?
I stopped looking. It offends
Well,
me.
here's the funny part. They're saying it's 481. I believe in the picture I sent you with my discount, I paid $529.
I stopped looking.
We're getting ready to pass California. You just wait and see. Michigan, if Granholm gets her way, because we're talking about energy, and line 5 comes down, not only will we surpass in fuel and natural gas California, what's Indiana going to do? What's Illinois going to do? What's Ohio going to do? What's Wisconsin and Minnesota going to do?
Gonna get fisted.
Yeah. So talking about energy, this and that. I know you and I talked about it a few times outside the shows and stuff, just personal conversation.
Probably.
I'm not one to make governments out to look good, but the people involved with the federal government and the UAEA that is all in on the micro nuclear stations is on to something. Even the lefties are against them. That even makes it more of a reason to be on the side of the micro nuclear stations. If the lefties are against it, good chance. That's going to work in our favor. We've got people in this country, especially in states like I live in, that don't have it as easily accessible to get to certain things. You know, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. I can list all them stinking states off along the South down there, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, all of them, they have access to the ocean. Our only access to the ocean comes through a 300-mile river. And then you got to hope that they don't surcharge us for the fact they just had to take an extra 13 or 30 days out of their way to come up and around and over to the St. Lawrence Seaway. So if that works out that way, good. We still get fuel. We still get natural gas. It's just going to cost us 5 times more what it is right now. I'm telling you wholeheartedly, as a person who is considered middle class for this state, I can't do it. Osteen makes more money than I do. He can't do it.
I make way less money than all of y'all.
I'm just saying. He
Trust
makes
me.
more than me than what you make.
Well, everyone I know. Well, sorry,
I'm
everyone.
sure of that.
Sorry, everyone, but Drew. No, I can
But
get
you
as much.
take
Yeah,
you take all this, you throw it into the mix. You got the Midwest states, and I'm gonna be open with you. Don't think this isn't gonna affect Pennsylvania, New York, New Hampshire.
Pennsylvania's screwed.
Because it will.
Yeah, the line
We
goes
get
up
hurt,
there.
They're getting hurt.
Hey,
And I hate to say it like that because I don't
Remember-
want to see
remember,
what we're going to see.
remember, we're going through a great transition. And hopefully
Transition straight into a depression.
when we come out of it, we'll be less reliant on fossil fuels.
Yeah, we'll be relying on Russia.
His words, not mine. If you don't stop bending over and moving your head like that, I'm going to reach to the screen.
The chair keeps moving on me. I'm trying to stay up.
Tell him not to.
I've tried to adjust the damn thing 6 times.
Why am I not looking at the screen? Why? Because he's
all over the place. Can't hold still.
But yeah, his words. We're going through a great transition. Yeah, well, it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing.
Won't work. We've had that talk.
Yeah, I was just while I was waiting on you to finally show up, I commented on there was someone. I was like just sitting there, and then I typed something nice underneath. It's like there's not enough, like, because they said there's the future. Oh yeah, like electric cars, like we don't have enough stuff to even mine to make everything. And one person was like, you do realize that. Hello, hi. That yeah, Tesla's only popping out like 1 million cars a year, and the rest of them are only putting out like 500,000. So at that rate, with over 330 million of us in the country, it'll take. They say we're going to get it all done by in the next 15 years, like at the rate they're going.
130 years.
They're only going to have like another
320 years.
Maybe 20 million electric vehicles done in the next 15, 20 years, and then it comes, that's just production wise, and then the mining for the lithium, that's gonna sooner or later dry up, and there's what we use to charge those cars is the grid, which already has rolling blackouts in some states, and I keep seeing more energy people like Duke Energy even saying, well, there'll be rolling blackouts this summer. So we're going to then try to make everyone do it to plug more stuff in there, which means then we have to use more fossil fuels, which is what fuels the power stations to give everyone juice. It's very easy. It's very mind blowing how people are actually.
When was that? I told you that started this year.
That's stupid. Like just what?
When they started having the power outages here.
Oh, yeah.
That was like March.
I saw like there's a bunch of states that were added to where they say they're going to have problems.
We've been having that problem. There was snow on the ground.
But if you're gonna plug in and charge that car because it's so much better, you're killing the planet, and we're burning just as much fuel to try to produce enough electricity. Which we can't already, and you actually have to be dense. There we go. To not comprehend what is actually powering your electric car. That is brought to you by the fine people that make fossil fuels and produce them for the world, because that's what burns them: coal, natural gas, all that is what charges your electric car. Yeah, then we have to burn more, which means then we need more freighters and trains and everything to transport the stuff to the stations, which causes more emissions for your.
Well, not to mention that. I mean, you think about it. You got. Back up for a second.
Railway cars and big old ships and trucks burn way more, emissions into the planet than would be saved.
On the energy side of this, we've enacted the Civil Defense Act for formula. We've acted the Civil Production Act, Defense Production
7
Act.
months after the problem started, by the way. 7 months late.
Oh yeah. So you have the Civil Defense Act for the formula. You have the Civil Defense Production Act for our solar panels, but yet we can produce all the solar panels in the world. But I want to point something out. I know I've pointed this out to you, and it's going to blow everybody's mind.
They're coming from China?
Well, not just that. Every single individual idiot that promotes electric cars electric that. Okay, take me to your house. I want to see an electric car in your driveway only. I want to see all electric appliances in your house only, to include your hot water heater. I also want to see your entire roof non-existent. I should not see your roof. I should see all solar panels. I should not see a single shingle or a single sheet of steel. You better have some fucking solar panels and batteries in the backyard and backup batteries in the house. And if I don't see that, boom, shut your mouth. Don't ever talk to me about fossil fuels or electricity being done wrong again. Here's people like that are Joe Biden. The White House doesn't have solar panels on top. I guarantee his house or his mansion in wherever it is, Delaware. I guarantee that don't have solar panels on top of his house. Guarantee it's
Wilmington, Delaware.
The house. Yeah,
Don't worry.
guarantee there's no solar. I'll find it. No,
And we
I'll
paid
find
for
it.
and we paid for the wall.
Yeah, and I'll find it. Don't worry. I'll have pictures for next week. There is no solar panels. Come looking for me too, Joe.
Let's not go and put pictures of the president's beach.
No,
house
not on. I'm
on the
saying I'll
internet.
show you pictures of these buildings.
Let's
My
not
whole
go.
point is there's no solar panels on top of any of these buildings. Consumers energy, solar this, solar that. Consumers energy, conserve here, consumers energy, all electric this. California can kiss masks, they do it too. And there's other states starting to kick onto this. Well, I'll tell you what, all you people want to promote that. Why doesn't every single one of your houses have batteries in it? Why doesn't every single one of your houses have solar panels on top? Why doesn't every one of your family's houses have solar panels on top? Oh, they have batteries in it. And I know why consumers don't have panels and shit on top of their buildings and solar fields, because they can't make money by putting in solar fields of their own to sell you electricity because it costs them money. They would much rather somebody like you put in a solar system minus a battery so you can't harvest any of the energy. They get all of it and they make money off you all by not paying one fucking penny. I'm sorry, all these people in government who are promoting that can kiss my white ass and try again because you're wanting to cut out fossil fuel with somebody like me, or you can't afford anything else. You made solar panels to where they're untouchable. Get rid of your subsidies, make the prices naturally come down on solar panels, and watch the transition then. You want to see a transition to solar power, shut your mouth, get rid of the subsidies, and then watch the prices naturally come down from capitalism, and then everybody all of a sudden have them. It's a common sense thing, buds. Come on. You're moving on energy. Anyway, sorry. I'll get off that soapbox because I can go all day on it.
Hey, why would they go in? But that would cut into their bottom line, and that's all they care about is themselves. Whether we're talking about the people making the laws,
And I'm going to
pushing on the subsidies, the people in the electric companies,
it's not
except for
solar.
Except for Joe Onslow, they do get, whenever they're done for the year, they do actually give us, break up whatever was left that we overspent and give it, break it up and give every customer some money back. So they're actually at least, decent.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've never really truly complained about Jones Onslow because I had a couple issues, but they did things right and they tried to make those issues right, which is why, hey, consumers, you never seen me at the door pissed off at Jones Onslow. You can call and ask any of them people. They remember that. Anyways, I do want to say something though. It's kind of off the topic of solar panels and energy, but it's the same concept. An example of all the people involved with this solar stuff. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She's all about no insider trading, no this, no that. You're doing it yourself, you crooked piece of shit. Now I'm moving on.
Hey, don't let the people telling us, don't, like John Kerry and his private jet and all their mansions,
I'm getting to
Bill
that.
Gates, and like telling us that we need to, be better humans to the planet, while they're literally murdering the planet more than like some whole entire cities just with their one house, let alone the 4 or 5 others that they have in their private jets and everything else that puts up more emissions than normal airplanes full of lots of people, in comparison. Yeah.
Exactly. But the reason I brought that up though, the Pelosi thing, is because you said something about the transition stuff. If you have transitioning and we're going to be better off and not as reliant, well, you're going to harden people to make you hate Democrats permanently. I'm talking Hispanics, white people, black people, Asian people. Every group of people in this country are going to hate Democrats when this is over with. They're never going to vote Democratic, and they might vote Independent. They might vote Republican. They might vote Green Dumbass Party of America even, but they will not ever vote Democrat again because of people like that.
Probably vote for
Transitioning, they're ruining us. They're going to transition this right into an absolute personal and perfected permanent hatred towards each other in this country. So that's the transition he was referring to.
Oh yeah, when he said the quiet part out loud, that they're purposely burying us right now. Like you're saying that it's all on the gas companies and all that price gouging, but then you come out and in your statement say we're going through a great transition. Excuse me?
Transition to what? Be honest, Joe.
If it's a great transition, if it's the oil companies and all that, like you say, you wouldn't be saying we were going through a great transition. You would say it was them.
Right?
And yeah, on the insider trade and on the insider trading thing, it's amazing how suddenly all of them dumped stock and then bought up stocks in Johnson and Johnson and Pfizer and all them making and Moderna making the vaccines because
It
money was
is.
going to go in, and then suddenly 2 weeks before they said they were going to do all that, and then 2 weeks before they signed their thing on electric
There it
vehicles,
is.
suddenly there's Pelosi's husband and all them buying up stocks in Tesla and stuff that makes electric and the
And-
parts for them, and they're all what? Well, it's my husband doing it. What? I didn't know. He had.
Are you
Nope.
married? Do you live in
Fine.
the same house?
Because he had. Well, thank God, if he's smart, he wouldn't.
Well, if you're smart, you would. Yes, I agree with that.
But like
I wouldn't let a dead dog live in the same house with that lady. But
But-
that's beside-
it's like, yeah, but we're not doing any inside death, right? Okay. It just conveniently happens to work out like before we went into Afghanistan and everyone started buying up stock and what's their nuts made all the rockets and missiles like that.
Mm.
Yeah, suddenly they're all buying stock and that like, well, we just yeah, what? That just happened.
One of them was General Dynamics was building some
yeah,
ammunition.
sounds
The
like
other
there was-
one was
whatever they were, whatever they to carry on it with, but we'll come up with it later. But
whoever,
whoever, like whatever they were, like all those companies that were doing all that stuff, suddenly they bought up stocks in that 2 weeks before. Like, our hands are clean. We had no idea what we just happened to move around money, and that's his thing.
Yeah.
And he's happened to buy directly in the thing that we're about to pump hundreds of billions of dollars into. That's convenient.
where I was going with the transition part though is we talked about this a few weeks back when we were talking about the border wall. You wanted to transition, you lost 2,200 miles worth of solar panels, gas and oil transmission lines. Should I carry on?
Yeah, but they don't want
No,
any.
Joe, you don't want me to.
They-
You're
no.
like an idiot.
No, they just don't want any of those lines. I mean, at least he's
Well,
senile-
think about it. I mean, think about it. If you
he's
did,
senile enough to say it, and then everyone goes, he's just Joe. What he just misspoke. Like, why is he
if I
the-
figure out how to do it, I'm going to now give you the numbers, but you think about that. 2,200 miles. A solar panel is only 3 foot wide. If you have two panels, 2,200 miles long, you could power probably 2 states, maybe more off of that. Just saying, that's stupid. If people complain about water issues in California, all the places that's got water in this goddamn world, and you're telling me we can't figure out how to shoot some water across that hill? Oh, wait, they already did. You shut it down. That's bullshit.
Yeah, they're
Talk
good.
about energy. There's a lot that goes into this. Everybody's talking about this, that, and everything else.
Very
plant-
uneducated.
Some motherfucking trees. Put solar panels on top of buildings, not in farm fields, and lose farmland for more food to be lost. Think. Use your damn brain. It takes water to grow trees. If you don't have trees, you won't have water because the sun evaporates the water. Whoever that company is that made them shade balls, smartest dude in the world, I want to shake his hand. Even if it was a woman, I want to shake her hand. Whoever it was, I want to shake their hand. Shade balls, smartest thing ever done in the world. Municipalities, every municipality should be required by federal law if we're going to be green energy. Every single municipality that has city water should have them on their storage water ponds, period. It prevents algae from growing from the sunlight in the water. It keeps the water cooler. It keeps the water from evaporating. It's like, I think it said it evaporates only 17% of the speed that normal water evaporates with the shade balls on top. Hello,
People
where is the ignorance involved? Who's the idiot involved? I want to know who is the idiot, not what idiot's the idiot. Because it's obviously not Joe Biden. I really do think it's either Anthony Blinken or look who just quit to go to MSNBC. I don't think she's going to MSNBC. That broad's running for president 2024. Guarantee it.
No, that'd be a very bad idea on their part. I'm telling
I'm
you,
calling it right now. I'm calling
Barry is
her
Barry,
for Anthony Blinken.
dude, Barry is still in charge. Barry didn't go anywhere.
Well, I mean, if you want to be technically, yeah, you're right. Because look how many people from his group are there right now.
Barry, I mean, and Joe won, so he could, help advise Joe when he runs into trouble, how to buy a however many $1 million townhome like 2 blocks away from the White House. Like, you can advise him from Chicago.
Yeah.
You don't have to be 2 blocks away from the White House. Spend millions on a townhouse to advise, but you're coming
Oh,
back. You buy a house
said
when
something.
you plan on staying.
You just said something to me that made me think of something. Who was it? And this
I'm
is
good
not
at that.
Trump. There was a senator this year that said 100% every position there should be term limits.
Yeah, should be.
Hasn't Barack already been a senator for Chicago?
Yeah, he was up there for Illinois.
Wasn't he up there a couple terms?
Yeah.
He's already been a president twice. I'm sorry. What city are you from, Barack? Because wherever that is where your townhome should be. Get out of DC. Everybody wants to know why DC is a swamp because of garbage humans that go there. They never leave.
Ever.
Dude, it don't take much to run a country. So for me to sit here and say that, and I'm kind of not by far the smartest person, I'm going to openly say that. They should be able to get it.
English lady, read it. Yeah, I 100%. It's just that's why everyone has a problem with it. That's why if the brain understands anything, I apparently have to write like in Barney style language so she can understand my handwriting. Jesus criminy.
You were talking about permits earlier?
Yeah, that's on the
permits?
list.
Yeah. You were talking about that? They're ganking.
Yeah.
Getting rid of them.
Permits are, yeah, look at how many, yeah. And leases.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I honestly think they've actually, if I read that list correctly, I think they might have added leases. But like I've said from day one, among millions of other people, a lease don't mean a damn thing
Without a permit.
without a permit. I'll go right now and pick up 20,000 leases. What are they going to do to me tomorrow if I can't get a permit? And don't think that there isn't countries. I've seen it happen. I've seen Shell and I've seen what's the gas line company? Wolverine come in here, dude, and buy leases out. Like, but they can't do anything. Now, granted, there's certain people involved here in the state of Michigan that says, well, I don't really care. I'm pushing through these gas lines whether they want me to or not. But not everybody does that. Not every company does that. Not every company has the audacity or maybe even the financial fortitude to do that, but they don't. Wolverine does not care. I mean, my parents, when I was in high school, they put a new gas line up at my parents' house. And my dad absolutely talked crap, absolutely shit on him. My whole high school years. And I'm like, Dad, what are they doing that's so wrong? Oh, gas lines are bad. Gas lines are bad. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are they doing? What are those gas? I said, they're on Tyra's property down there. I want you to go down there and show me on his property. What are those gas lines sitting there not moving, doing wrong? They're not leaking. They're not up on the ground, moving all over the place. What are they doing? Nothing. What are they costing to sit there and do that? Nothing. You would rather, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of trains. I'd like to see everything in this country moved on a train. That's just my personal preference, but I blame my grandfather for that. Moving on from that, as much as I'd like to see that, trains, planes, and trucks all cost money to own, all cost money to operate, all cost money to drive on the road. Not to mention the fuel that it costs to operate those.
And the emissions.
I was referring to just the cost of the vehicle and the insurance. That's not even including the driver or the cost of fuel. You can't, people don't think. The amount of oil that would have came from Canada on the Keystone pipeline, I don't want to think what it would take to move by train or truck, because I don't think I can put those numbers together right in my head on the spot like that. So with that being said, you got all these people complaining about energy. We killed the Keystone pipeline. You heard Nuts, redhead, crotch face there, whatever her name is, say that we would not have been any better off by letting that go through and be built. Well, you're all right. You're lying skank face. Let's not go down that road. I don't like that. No circle back either, Jen. And whoever Curly Q is at your place.
That should be her name of her show on MSNBC.
Anything she does, it should always be called Circle Back Jen.
Circling Back with Jen Psaki. Thank me later, Jen. Thank me later.
But it just bothers me because people talk about all this and we only have so much land we can drill on it. You can't really drill in the UP. Most of the UP is not by any means flat ground. It is not flat. Hence the reason why copper is mined up there. It is not flat and it is not easy terrain. But with that being said, without Line 5, we lose our ass here. And among other states up here in the Midwest that will lose their ass because of that. And it's scary because the simplicity that goes into thinking about these things, then you step back, somebody like me who really is not the most educated person in the world. I didn't go to like Harvard or nothing like that. I'm not the brightest person, but I can sit here and look at this and go, you people are idiots. Like, you're an idiot, and you're an idiot. You're just a bigger idiot. But that's besides the point. You have these people involved, have no interest in helping the people around them out. Their only goal is to continue lining their pocket, continue to getting corrupt, progressive fools elected. Nothing that they're doing right now will solve any problem we have. And I watched that I watched parts of, oh man, Janet Yellen. She's part of this problem.
I try not to listen to her when she speaks. It hurts my
Well,
head.
I watched it. I wanted to hear her lying excuse over the question I knew was going to get asked, and it did. She was asked, you said last year this is transitory, and here we are, tenfold way worse than what we were last year.
At least she admitted
Tell
it
me
kind
why.
of. Hey, at least she admitted it kind of that they were wrong.
She goes, I was wrong. She says, one, I did not anticipate multiple variants of COVID. Oh, pause. First things first, you did, because you said that on the second variant of COVID. So clearly you knew of two. Don't say you didn't know of more than one. No. That's a lie. Secondly, she moved forward and she goes, I didn't anticipate that many of them. So that's why the transitory part of the inflation is lasting. She goes, no. When you get flustered and you're as white can be in the face, you're lying. When you're looking down and to the left every single time, as white as the paper on the moose behind you.
This is
that paper too. There you go. When you're that white, literally, she was literally as white as that paper sitting on that stand yesterday getting asked questions. When you're asked and you look down and away and then mumble an answer out, I know you're lying. And she should be happy that ain't certain situations certain years ago because the wrong person would took her ass out behind a quad con.
It's not going to endorse violence against our
I'm
government
not
officials.
encouraging you. I'm just saying there's people like that are ruining the lives of most of the country, and the people who are the average example of most of the country are people who are the boots in the military. You telling me those guys don't think you're full of shit? You telling me you ain't hurting them? Tell me how many married personnel in the military right now under the rank of 05 or E7 isn't struggling. I rest my case there. Carry on, Steve.
I'm trying to keep track of everything. Yeah, but and again, they keep saying that whole entire thing for they didn't know variants were coming. Well, it's a virus and they keep mutating all the time. You know, like,
and you're giving it unsure vaccinations, which could make it either stop or grow, which we didn't know. We all admitted that.
Which is, you know, it's like why there's not a flu shot that gets because there's so many. They just kind of go, hopefully, and it's just like, yeah, we all know that's exactly that's how these things work. That's how viruses, but they mutate and they change all the time.
I mean, we're way
all the time
better off here than they are in Africa. And you don't see the people in Africa tripping out like we are here.
Huh. You know,
I read that one, right? You can't argue that. People in a third world continent, not a third world country, a third world continent.
That'd be continent for those that aren't understanding.
Grasp the concept better than the most advanced country in the world.
Oh no, they don't.
Is an absolute, well, not no more. We're not. We used to be. We used to hold a standing for a reason.
No, it's
Maybe I'm just too, I'm gonna use that word. You know what? I said it yesterday because I was crying when I watched Top Gun because it's a damn good movie.
Nothing makes me
And
cry.
I won't say what part made me cry because I'm not gonna tell you. I want you to see it.
Nothing makes me cry.
You're gonna get nostalgic. You watch. There's a problem that people have understanding the definition of nostalgic. Yes, I'm nostalgic. I liked when America worked well. I liked when America was making money. It was happening around 2018 and 19. We weren't doing too shabby when my grandfather was alive still either. Until Bill decided to go, well, we'll leave that there. Carry on. That was getting ready to go on a bad spot. And I want to say that on public TV.
Just keep blowing my mind. So every time I have a sentence going, he just
Sorry.
ruins it all.
I'm shutting up.
I had no idea.
I'm shutting up.
Oh yeah. See, it's not that they grasp it better. It's just their third world shithole of a continent for the most part, and they don't have all these grubby, power hungry people trying to make as much money as they humanly can, even though they can never use it to hold all of us down. So that's why they handled that whole thing better than we did, because they're not a bunch of millionaires trying to become billionaires on our backs.
No, they're like the people right now in Ukraine. They just want to survive. Like,
And
don't want to come out looking like, oh, we just want to make it through to the other end.
And when it comes to the solar stuff on buildings, for all the people that like to scream at me on there when I say like that's a good way to do it, and they start freaking out talking about nuclear, like yes, I read the whole thing. I said nuclear is the safest, cleanest way to do it, and we haven't had an accident that wasn't caused by like a natural disaster in a very long time. The new technology
We're
is
outdated.
yeah, same, but the last big one we had was what, Fukushima, because of an earthquake, and then a student,
Correct.
then the wave came and just blew the rest of it to pieces. I mean, that
That is out of human control, though. That's something that people have to go. You go from this category to here, and we don't forget about you, but we can't hold you in regards to any decision making.
That wasn't, that wasn't like a collapse of anything. That was a big ass earthquake that shook the bejesus out of the thing. And I mean, I saw some of the buildings there. I mean, everything was, it was bad, and you can't get mad at that, but it's super clean. And for everyone yelling, like what? I'm sorry that I think that if they built this 5 or 6 story tall barracks, whatever the hell it was, out in Courthouse Bay for the engineers,
those ones with like 8,
and like giant thing and parking garages, and all the buildings have solar panels on top of it to help. I'm sorry if you, that does actually help. That's a way.
And who did that come from?
That was a way
the
that we
barbaric Marine Corps.
That was if Camp Lejeune can do it, what do it to buildings? What that'll actually lessen our need for fossil fuels, and it'll lower your cooling bills because you won't be getting as much beat to death by the sun.
Well, and that, I mean, the statement I made earlier, you got to keep that in mind. I think everybody should, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but I think everybody should make this statement.
Everyone's stupid.
I'm all for the solar panel things, but you cannot stop what little bit of production we have for food on land in this country. You can't take any of that away for solar.
That's why I said on top of buildings and stuff.
I know, but
that makes
but
sense.
People who don't understand, you got to say
people are just dumb. No, people are just dumb. Like, we need to get rid of our farmlands and forests. We could do that, and then they complain because, everything, the temperature of everything keeps going up, and like we need to take care of the environment. And you're all about destroying farmland and forests to put solar farms up, and then yelling, which, by the way, you're burning fossil fuels to deforest all those things.
Not to mention you're taking all the ground cover off, which makes more heat to allude to global warming, which they blame on fossil fuels. Which they
don't help, but
I don't think a car comes anywhere close to taking the trees away.
What all of them doing is but again, they're blaming all of us, which pretty much proves that it's all of them actually doing it. But pretty much everything they blame on us, they're actually the ones doing it.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if you got, I think the best way to explain it to people is if you take 100 acres square, literally 10 acre by 10 acre square partial. So you have 100 acres squared. If you take that property and have 1 acre clear cut for you to live on, build a garage, and work on, that leaves you with 99 acres of land for natural use. So that gives you 99 acres of land to have trees, water to not evaporate out of the ground because the trees cover it, which keeps it cool. The moment you take 99 acres and turn it into 1 acre, and you have 99 acres clear cut out of the 100 instead of 1, you've now taken 99 square acres of carbon eliminating trees and gotten rid of them. You've exposed the ground to more heat, which alludes to global warming, which alludes to melting ice caps. Common sense is step the fact back up for a minute and go, wait a minute, if I heat the ground, I'm heating the earth, I'm heating the water, I'm evaporating the water. I'm making it harder for me to cool my house and the planet. So that has zero to do with a vehicle. It has zero to do with a power plant. Alone on simplistic biology and science, I am myself, by eliminating those trees, adding temperature to the ground. All on my own without ever touching a vehicle. I rest my case there. Our government sucks.
Oh, it's just the people in charge and all these so-called
Well,
scientists.
I say our government because right now,
Yeah.
collectively, the people involved
Yeah.
is a joke.
It's just, and again, it's all common sense. I mean, you don't even really have to think.
I'm going to prove this point at that
And
bar.
everything they try to do just makes everything worse, except they just use all these fancy words to make us out to be like Nazis trying to kill off everyone on the planet. And
that goes another way too. All those people who complain that are green energy people who complain about bears and coons being in cities more and more now and doing more damage, quit taking their homes away. Quit clearing land.
I don't know why you're worried about species going extinct. How about you stop destroying their living environment and taking it away?
I'm going to take the most loved animal in the world, the animal that does absolutely zero destruction, zero harm, a rabbit. When you take land clearing, you eliminate trees and brush and you make the ground flat. What have you just done by doing that? When you take the brush out, rabbits no longer have anywhere to live. Where do they go? They either travel miles if they can physically make it, or they die. Well, I guess what? I like rabbits, wild rabbits, more than I do a lot of humans. So guess what? I'm pissed.
I
like dogs more than I do a lot of humans. Those animals are getting screwed.
I like most things more than I like other human beings.
Sorry, animals are worth saving. A lot of humans ain't. And I know that's wrong to say it like that. It sounds very immoral. But for me, I look at moral and I go, our country isn't moral no more, nor is the world even for that matter. There's third world countries that have more morals than our country.
Yeah, but they don't have the big machine. That's the problem. Like everything they warned us about, like our government right now is all that stuff that the founding fathers made those great documents to warn us about. And nothing they say is doing anything but enriching their lives. Hell, according to AOC, the whole planet was going to be gone like 6 years ago. So,
and if anyone ever wants to argue this with you, Steve, I have a way for you to respond to somebody that tells you, oh, what you're saying is wrong. You tell them this right here. Go to your closest national forest, take an infrared thermometer gun, go out there, go in the middle of the woods, take a temperature reading of that ground. Then go to your nearest Walmart, go to the middle of that parking lot and take a temperature reading in that parking lot. And tell me who the fuck's heating the ground. People driving a car with gas or cleared lane.
Hell, go to the middle of the forest and then go like 100 feet out past not cleared forest. And
you could even do that.
Just go 12 feet. You'll see the difference between them. There's a vast difference in it. And it doesn't take much brain function to figure it out, but
maybe I paid too much attention to school to science. I don't know, but
I was never at school. I just have this thing called common sense, which is it's dying and it makes people a bunch of asses. Lots of asses.
Who was it that said that? I think it
I love
was.
how mean she closes the door every time.
I think it was.
She doesn't even know I get up and leave the bedroom, so she keeps sleeping. She knows I'm doing something. She slams doors like a serial killer. Actually, probably not a serial killer. They're quiet too.
What's that scrawny guy's name from down south? The senator. He's always talked about.
Trey Gowdy. I mean, I know he's not there anymore, but he's a scrawny little from down south.
The one I like. Josh Hawley.
He's from Missouri, isn't he?
Yeah.
When you say down south,
Josh Hawley.
I'm thinking
Tom
like
Cotton.
when you say down south, I'm thinking like my neck of the woods here, homie, not Missouri. Missouri's not really. I mean, it's kind of not down south. Yeah,
The other one is Tom
Sure.
Cotton. He's from Alabama or Louisiana, right?
I thought it was Arkansas. I think it's Arkansas. Yeah, it's Arkansas.
Anyway, okay, them two. Anyways,
Carry
those
on.
two. Where was I going with that?
I have no idea. Beats me. You've been on a roll. I'm just filling in words for about 30 seconds at a time
He was talking. What were you just talking about?
while you breathe. Temperatures, gun, forest,
Carry on, it'll hit me.
psychopath. You know, but it's all really easy stuff. I mean, the last thing I said was I was never even at school to pay attention. I could still figure it out. I mean,
Assholes. That's what it was. I'm not the nicest person. I will never in my life till the day I die claim to be a nice person. I try to be a decent human, but I'm an asshole. I have reasons for becoming the asshole that I am. Being the asshole that I am is probably better for me than being a nice person. But I also want to point out, and I'm pretty sure even Joey John Jones said this. If you don't have assholes in this country will no longer exist.
well, I mean, really, then that's the case. I mean, that kind of goes to everything, though. I mean, look at all the bad things, like in the wrestling world. People said about Vince McMahon, what? You're a millionaire that could have been a millionaire, but you just surrounded yourself with yes men. Did whatever you wanted and just went along with the flow. You had some miserable fuckers near you. You'd be
That's
richer,
called-
and the product would be better. And the product would be better if you just put, any sort of anything, like a quick little, But yeah, like it doesn't take a lot. Like this is coming from me, literally. I can show you some of my report cards. You could see my attendance. I didn't even know it was possible to miss 30, technically, because I leave early, like 37 days in a 45-day, first quarter, what? Yeah. I missed pretty much all of it a lot of the time. And I still figure this stuff out because it doesn't take much reading or listening to any moron tell you anything, especially John Kerry with his 6 houses, his private jets. Yeah. Yeah. Those people are the ones telling us that we're killing the planet.
You know what's pathetic? Is John Kerry makes less money than a lot of NASCAR drivers. And NASCAR drivers carpool on planes. But John Kerry can't. John Kerry can't even fly commercial. NASCAR drivers fly commercial. Explain that to me.
Yeah, there are people that jump on. Everyone rides together. Yeah. And then I'm sure when NBC picks up, that a lot of people are going to be driving with Juniors. They have to go to a lot of cities and they all live right there. Blaney and them are going to be on Junior's plane and hell, Junior, never mind, because Junior has Junior Motorsports. So I'm sure he's actually at the track now a lot more than we ever get to see him because he has teams. And, even if he isn't but he carpool, they pool together on airplanes.
Yeah. I know.
Just like some people when they ride together and they're like, yeah, he won. Yeah, that was my ride home. So apparently I'm not leaving anytime soon. So yeah, what? Just gonna go. I don't know. Because it's cheaper and it's environmentally friendly and they're not complete tool bags. Unlike the tool bags are the people calling us tool bags.
Regulate. That's the tool bags.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Ukraine. That fits in kind of, I think.
Well, I only brought that up because.
Oh, shut up. Segue. Shut up. I'm trying to get the wheels on the bus somehow. The wheels have been off the bus. I just get to talk when you inhale. And then you were off to the races again. You're like Lucky Strike and Derby. But it was just, you were going, gone. And we all just got to sit there going. But again, you brought them up. And I find it amazing. And again, he has seen the screenshots like the stuff that comes out of people's mouths when it comes to gun anything, and how it's like all of it. Well, we'll just make it illegal for people to make their own rounds, or make the rounds cost $200 a piece. Like, well, one, they're criminals, so they're doing it anyway. All you'll hurt is regular people because they pay for their stuff through crime. So you'll just hurt more people because they'll do more crime to do things. One, like everyone's saying we should do mental. One person, I think I sent you that one too, mental health screenings every year to renew your license for your firearm. It's like, and he didn't respond to this response. The one was like, well, the VA has like, what we have therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, drugs, you name it. We have, and we talk to our mental health doctors, everyone from like, what, you can do it every week if they think it's appropriate, every month, every 3 months, 6, whatever it is. Like they have all of that, and yet we're still losing 22 a day to suicide on average, which is 8,000 a year. And guess what? They're talking to people all the time that don't think they're suicidal or have no problems, because you could pretty much lie your way through a psychological exam if you really want to. Look at everyone when they get back from Iraq. We're just sitting there on the
I didn't even lie.
We're just sitting there going on the computer when we got back from Iraq. You sure as hell. What? Are you having problems? Oh, no. Why? I'm going on leave. Why? You can lie your way through that. And if you don't bring it up or do anything, no one will know. So all you're going to do is pump more money into wasted time, and it's not going to stop anyone, because criminals don't care about those things because they're criminals.
It's not like you can't tell.
Anyway, they're criminals anyway. Or the one kid, Jesus, for whoever, I think it was just one of the same people, but said that 18-year-olds shouldn't be able to own them because your brain is very different from at 21 years old than it is at 18. Like, we're talking in correlation to school shootings. Like, if they want to shoot up a school at 18, I'm pretty sure they're just going to be crazier at 21. But those are those kind of feelings don't go anywhere. And most of the time, thank you for slamming the door. Most of the time, they get it from friends or loved ones when they do mass things. There have been some legal gun owners, but what the hell is, and anything that they ever say to do going to stop anything, because criminals commit the crimes. There's over 400 million firearms in the country. There's 35,000 or so deaths by, from guns ish every year, 25 to 35, somewhere in there. And then 8,000 at least, veteran suicide. So, I mean, with normal people, it goes well over 10, 12, 15,000 when it comes to the suicide rate. It's around at least 10,000. So you take that down. And then if you take, I don't know, the 51 people that got shot or killed in Chicago over Memorial Day, that number would go, like it's a criminal problem. Tell me, we don't need more cops. They just sat there. No, we need more police officers. We need to actually train them so they know exactly how to do this. So there's no hesitation or anything like that. And we need to lock up criminals and get back to plainclothes police officers to get illegal guns off the streets and stop being so compassionate to the criminals and actually worry about, I don't know, the law-abiding people that aren't doing anything. And by the way, again, Ukraine, you meant if we could spend $54 billion on Ukraine to arm them, why are they talking about disarming any of us? Because they need those guns to stop a tyrannical government, but we don't deserve to have any guns here. And when someone told me we shouldn't have to harden the soft targets like schools, it's not going to stop anything. Like, you bet your monkey sweet ass you could put bulletproof glass in all those things. You can reinforce the doors, and you could have, like, right here, Carolina Forest International Elementary School, or whatever the one is on Henderson over there before you get to Jeff's Burgers on the right. You bet your sweet devil ass there are a few police officers with their guns on their side at the intersections, getting and entry points, getting kids in and out. No one is going to try to take out kids while they're getting in the school. If there's 4 or 5 armed people out there, they're going, what? No, really, don't. Like, and you can then harden the targets, and you can harden the soft targets. Why do you think it keeps? How many times does he have to? I don't know. He's been in charge for forever. He spent trillions of dollars in other countries. They've done nothing to protect the schools. I love the meme that I saw after 9/11. We didn't ban airplanes. We secured the cockpits. How about we go after criminals and we actually secure the schools so this stuff actually would stop? You could have guards right there. So if they get through the front door, have them around the corner. Why? So they get through any of the doors, so they come around the corner, and it's like Home Alone. Hello, and guess what? Problem solved, eliminated.
Well, one of the problems is something that you just said that alludes to the point that everybody avoids, Steve. And it's something that you said. I've heard people say, we don't have a gun problem. We have a people problem. And I'm going to prove this right now.
400 million firearms,
2001.
35,000 deaths. Not a gun
2001 to 2019.
Million.
Okay.
2,000
The
million.
light blue line is veterans only. The dark blue line is all other U.S. adults.
Mm.
Now, allow me to inform you what this is. 5,000 and some to 6,000 and some. 29.5, 46,000. You tell me what in the absolute fuck has happened in this country that gives any United States adult in that time frame outside of veterans the right to say, oh, our death rate increased for suicide by almost 200%. No, you pathetic, lazy pieces of shit. You don't like being told no. You don't like being told you're wrong. Get the hell up off your parents' couch, get a fucking job and do something. If you don't want to be an American and be part of the American project, leave the American project. There's planes that leave this country every damn day. There's 2 borders on this country. Walk away. Have a nice day. Don't come back. My whole point is,
don't cross the southern one. They will send you right back over.
But here's the other thing. Veterans, okay? Since 2001, before 9/11, we had no conflict. We had no reason for the suicidal rates that we did. But we still had almost 6,000, 5,989. So we're 11 away from 6,000 in 2001. 2019, it only raised to 6,261. That's not even a 500 people increase. In 20 years, not even 18 years, the American population went up
a lot,
175%.
Yeah.
Like what? No. Quit being bitches. You have to work to get things in life. If you don't have energy,
stop being offended.
You can't survive.
Stop being offended by everything. And
if you don't have, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and actually research things. Turn off the media. Get away from your celebrities.
Exactly.
Look.
If you don't have this kind of information, this right here proves my fucking point. People need to grow the fuck up.
Hey, no, see, proves the point. Another one with the whole gun thing. I keep arguing that it's a gun problem, and I have a hard on for them. What, 400 million guns? Not even anywhere pretending to be close with 6 figures. For gun, what if we had a gun problem? Trust me, with that many firearms in the country, you would know if it was an actual gun problem. Now, is poverty involved in gun crimes in some places? Yes. Are people held down in some of these places, so that's what they have to do to survive? Yes. I'm not taking that away, but it is still a crime problem.
Exactly. Hold on, I got back up.
Back to your problem.
Back to your statement about the ammo. One, you can make ammo as expensive as you want where you buy it, but you're just going to have somebody who's old school like me go, to hell with you. I'm going to go home and say, hey, bring that over. Hey, man, you still got any of that lead? Okay, bring that over. I got the breast, dice. What do you need? What you need? 45? Okay, you need 44? Got it. I need 50 and 22s. Got it. Okay. I'm going to run my lead out. I'm going to make my own.
Yeah. That's all you got to do.
The problem is every law they're making only affects one group of people, and that's the law-abiding people who follow the motherfucking law. If you don't follow the law, you can have all the rules in the books, but the crooked person who's shooting the person with a gun, he don't care if you have a law against it or not, clearly because he's shooting somebody.
Yeah, I make that argument. Like, you see,
but that's fine. Because you know what, these idiots, this is something that you need to be warned about, though. Should they go through with something like that? Should they push through with something like that? The revolt from the largest single nation that is populated with guns by far more than people will be the worst revolt. You thought this Civil War was bad? I promise you, you make it so an American who is a law-abiding citizen cannot legally buy his own ammunition, you will see the biggest revolt in the country you've ever seen in your life.
And if they make it harder, I mean, I just,
I'm just
again,
pointing it out. I don't want
Yeah.
to see that because
You-
it would be bloody.
you see it when I show you my posts. Like,
Oh yeah.
what it like you keep telling me now it's that I have a hard on for guns or blind patriotism. I'm like, it's like 400 plus million.
Blind patriotism. We want to slap
I
our
say,
own
I
government.
know, say
face.
400 plus million. Here's like let's say 400 plus million for the firearms is up there. The amount of deaths caused by them is way down there, and then the amount of law-abiding citizens involved in that is way down, even further down there. And it's just like how they say it's not a. Look,
But your other part,
like there's what do I say? What criminals are criminal? What shoot criminal having a firearm? Felon having a firearm, especially violent one. That's a felony. Shooting someone, yeah, that's a felony. Armed
I
robbery,
mean, outlawing guns and
that's a
ammunition.
felony. Them having a round on them is a felony, and will send their asses to jail. Like, and you think that just making more things illegal and all that is gonna affect them when they live off of?
I'm just gonna say, anyone that
Right.
wants to say gun control solves gun deaths, wrong.
Hey, remember, get rid of
I'm
guns.
gonna simply state one name.
Oh, I say that too.
Not go.
Get rid of all the guns. What? Get rid of all the guns. It'll stop. Like, and then there's people in Europe and Australia. Look at us. Like,
Didn't work.
and like, weren't you guys held at gunpoint? Like, if you tried to leave your house during COVID, because the only people that had guns was the government. Like, didn't that? Like, that's a real thing that happened.
But your other
Okay.
part,
And then if you make them illegal, what? Try and tell the citizens to turn them in. What? Like, the criminals who aren't supposed to have them, that we don't know have them, are then going to have nothing to stop them except for really bad police response times anymore in a lot of cities, because there's so few police anymore. But there'd be more calls because there'd be more armed robberies and shootings and bad. That's I say, look at Minneapolis, Seattle, and Austin, Texas. Look at their crime rate since they cut New York City too, since they cut millions in places like New York City, billions out of their police budget in 2020. Look how many of them have now. Look at the crime rates, and then look at all the stuff with the mayor and all them asking for more millions of dollars, the governor, so they can get more police because crime is exploding. Like, making it harder for us to be safe makes it easier for criminals, which is why all those places that did that have seen
you made the statement about training.
historic cranks in violent crime, like way up.
Okay. But you also mentioned another part of this too, though, and that next statement's going to go into 2 points that you made. One part of it is you said some training, okay? Now I have
Proper
to back
training.
up Uvalde, Texas. Sorry, Uvalde, Texas.
Taxes.
That shooting, they had their first and only ever school shooting training just a few months before that. I'm sorry. I was in the Marine Corps, dealt with junior Marines. The average person is an idiot. You can't teach them something once and expect them to have even 1% of understanding, because I guarantee they're going to leave there and go, I'm fucking confused. And guess what? Situation happens. They have to use that training. They're going, training is only training if the training is continuous. You're getting shot at and blown up. When you're in the military, you're training. You do PFTs. You're always doing PT. Every so often you do an old course. You have to continuously train on all of that.
Weapons, pistol
If you don't
ranges,
continuously
swimming.
train for school shooting scenarios, your officers can't prevent school shootings. But that also goes to the other side of it. You're talking about training
And that police chief needs to get shit canned, by the way.
and preventing things.
Tell
All the
him to
people,
stand down. Like, he deserves to be shit canned.
all the people who are talking about getting rid of guns and all this, they're also the same jackwagons who are all for sending billions of dollars,
So other people can
hundreds
arm
of thousands
themselves.
of different firearms and ammunitions to Ukraine to help protect Ukraine, but yet we can't have guns here to protect here.
Us from bad people.
You're a hypocrite, you lying scumbag.
Oh, and by the way, let's not forget that those lying scumbags also vote in other lying scumbags who say we need to get rid of all guns and police, like AOC, Ayanna Pressley,
And yes,
Ilhan Omar, and all them that use hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer dollars every year for private security, and those people are all armed to the teeth. Trust me,
Yeah.
we have that guy. You know the guy happens to be at one of those Capitol Police people, let's just happen to say, that protects those people. Trust me, those when I say armed to the teeth, they are armed to the teeth.
They're like Chuck walking around all the time.
And 10 times worse than them. What I see, I look at, good God, damn. Yeah, all the people saying that we don't need police and you don't need guns are all the same cocksuckers that are protected with taxpayer dollars with private security firms, and the Capitol Police when they don't have them, like that are armed to the teeth with guns to keep them safe. But they say that you don't need guns.
I do have a statement,
or you don't need guns or police or anything. Be it they have armed police officers and security on them at all times on your dime.
What's his face? I really, that police chief from down there in Uvalde, hello Daisy.
Yeah, you're on TV.
In Uvalde, Texas, that police chief, I wholeheartedly think he needs to be taken from his post, everything like that. But I don't think he should be removed as a police officer because of the simple fact that they're already struggling now for numbers.
But from that post, he should be shit canned.
He should most definitely never be a chief again. But it's not to say he's a bad cop. It's just his training that he got was not as sufficient and he didn't go about it the right way. That was his own decision making that caused that. Now, I do think, though, to a degree, like we said earlier, when it comes to training, if you go over school shootings one time for training with a whole entire police department, you do it once. If there's not continuous training and continued education on that, you just did worse for them by not doing it, not at all. I mean, you would have been better off not doing it at all than you would have been doing it once, because now you've got things floating in their head that they might not understand, and they're trying to make decisions based off of half understood stuff. And that equals deaths, i.e. that school shooting. So I do believe that everybody talks about that police, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying that in general in defense of him.
There's a
lot of people that talk shit about him. Well, he should not be in prison. He should not be locked up. He shouldn't even lose his job as a police officer, but he should most definitely step down as a chief.
Yeah, he should remove from his position. That's pretty much as far as I'll go.
Or as we know it, his billet.
Yeah, but he should be, knocked down the totem pole. Maybe some people understand that better. But yeah, fired altogether. I mean, it's just, again, if we could spend that much money in other countries for all these years on guns, bullets, everything, training them, why can't we spend that to properly train our own so they know how to handle all situations? They say, get out. You just got fired.
Off topic, but at the same time, it goes along the lines of the topics we've been talking about. Right now, everybody's talking about this new base that China's building. Well, had you done your homework and your training properly, the Belt and Road Initiative has been the same thing for like years now. I can go on just Google Maps alone and pick out 10 new bases they've built that the government probably don't even know about.
They're caught off guard by everything anymore. Remember hypersonic missiles, anything. Yeah, we honestly didn't see that coming. Well, and
my thing of it is like right now, I showed you the one down in the Solomon Islands. And what was it, like 2 months later, all of a sudden people were talking about it? It's like, we knew this was happening. If we knew it was happening, you can look at Google Images and see it. Joe Blow from school could do that. Go get on his computer at school in his homeroom class and look at Google Maps. Scroll over Asia and South of Asia. Look at South of India, all the islands wrapping up into the South China Sea. All them islands, China's went through their base. Now, they're in theory belong to those countries. But now look, right here, they're talking about the one, that new naval base, Reem, I think they called it, down in Cambodia. Dude, that's been theirs. This ain't new. Everything's China there. Look around. Look at the map. Every base being built like that, if you look at their buildings and the way they're building them, and then go look at an existing Chinese base, literally everyone that's built in the water, it's the exact same designs. Come on.
And it's very amazing how he told us, we all know who he is. We'll figure it out by the time we're done talking. Said that China wasn't a threat that whole time, that we were just mean and all those things. And now look how much they're all going, yep, China's a threat. Yeah, but I mean,
they're not just a threat. They're a mildly finish it, Steve.
But training wise, I think, well, no, because we're more worried about, white rage and all those things, and not actual important things. That's what she did. She unplugged the charger. There we go. I was trying to figure out when the whole entire mess just went flying. It was the power cable. Makes sense now. Anyway, but we're going after so much stupid stuff, like getting out extremists as they call them, and white rage training, and LGBT. Did you see the Marine Corps? With the
I have a new definition for extreme.
For Pride Month. Like
right? 40 and older, Democrat. What?
It's the thumbs up that just popped up when you did that.
40 and older, Democrat. That's my new extremist.
Not even
liberal college student.
Yeah, like
that's it.
AOCs, there's just
liberal college student, 40 and older, and Democrat. My dad, extremist.
Yeah, or they're going after people on the right. That's but it's not the training we need. It's not going to save anyone's life. It's not going to help anyone. It's not going to do anything that they say it's going to do, and none of them.
And I'm with the border agent that shot that guy, by the way. When he got there and got his wife and kid out, came back out and says, "You fucking wait. We're doing this
now."
Not waiting now. Kudos to him.
But moral of all of it: hard and soft targets, and stop trying to make more gun legislation, because all you're doing is actually hurting normal people and making it exponentially simpler for criminals.
And people,
if we could spend money over there, every other place on the planet, we could spend money to make sure that we're okay, because the rest of the world hates us. The rest of the world wants to kill us, and we're more worried about the rest of the world than taking care of our own stuff. Because remember, all the people that freaked out when Elon Musk tried to buy Twitter, that he could sell the world hunger for $44 billion. It's amazing how none of them are saying the same thing when we're sending, and that are hypocrites that don't want us to have guns, but they're saying, please send more guns and money and everything to Ukraine. It's like, just not like, if you guys, if anyone over there actually stopped and listened to anything that they said, instead of just read and repeat everything that they hear and see from the media and politicians, that like we'd be in a better place. Like, so we shouldn't have them, but we could send money there. But then how many times does this have to happen before we do something about the guns without actually hardening schools? It's funny how they all keep using the same line. How many times does this have to happen? I don't know. How long is it going to take for you to actually secure the bastards so that stops happening? And what gun laws have ever stopped criminals from doing exactly what they do?
Right. That's my layup right there.
Stop blaming Indiana's lax gun laws, because if Indiana's lax gun laws were causing Chicago, Indiana would be burning to the ground too.
Well, I have to say something about that. If
it's not
gun laws, there'd be a lot more dead people from guns in Indiana. Let me tell you, there isn't.
Anyway, I'm just crimes and numbers and all that.
Thing in the elder people who this, that, and everything else. You got bad people. You need to change this. You need to change that. I need to back up for a second. I want to refer to something that happened just last summer. 4 years old. Brantley had that accident on the train at the campground, the trolley thing, right? Yeah. Since then, he has recovered from that mentally for the most part, minus certain things that don't have 5-point harnesses. He's like, I'll pass on that. But outside of that, he doesn't really, it didn't ruin him. He's not scared of everything from it. He's moved on. We've talked about, we've worked on it. Blake has stood by from 4 to 5, watched the shit both of them kids have that I deal with when it comes to the school, or when it comes, not school, when it comes to the VA and the government, dealing with that stuff. 5-year-old child can stand up and go, oh, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor so I can work for the VA and help people like you and Ski. My 5-year-old stepson can understand that and process that. We don't have a gun problem in this country. We have an idiot problem in this country. I'm not even saying stupid no more. Stupid's not determining enough. An absolute idiot problem. The 5-year-old kid could probably also go down the Uvalde right now and go, okay, look, here's the deal. You guys need to get help. You need to talk about, work through this. All those kids that were involved with that, yes, they need to get help. They need to get rid of it. But I also think what that mayor said, I would love to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with him and tell him that he's an idiot for saying what he said about bulldozing that school. You should not bulldoze the school, one. Two, you bulldoze that school and don't set up a memorial of some form for them students, you're ruining all the other students and parents involved who will have no way of knowing that it meant something that they were. No, you have to put a memorial of some form, something at that school to signify what happened. Don't bulldoze the building. Go through remodel where it needs to be remodeled, obviously, because if there was a shooting, there's going to be blood. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I understand that. You are going to have to do some updates because there's going to be stuff that needs to be removed and replaced, period. But with that being said, it doesn't mean shut that school down, bulldoze it, building it. No, let's not be stupid. Now you sound like you're in Michigan. We bulldozed the best school that this district had, built a new one, and yet the worst building's still over there, falling apart and water leaking, whatever. Anywho. Children are the most resilient individuals in our country. I don't care what anyone wants to say. The most resilient mind in our country is an individual child that can work through anything with the right guidance. Anything. A child's brain can work through anything with the right guidance. Brantley and Blake can not only say, spell out in numbers how to say it, but also can say it and recognize it. 56. I don't know many kids at 5 years old can walk around and do that with letters 20 or numbers 20 and under, let alone 56, 60, 70 something, 80 something. If kids just have the guidance, their brains are mind-blowingly great. I didn't have that when I was growing up, so I don't know what it was like then. But I know what it's like to actually see it happen and go, I'm part of that. I can see this happening. People should care, want things to get better, not worse. Yes, we have an idiot problem in this country. California's a lost cause. Blow the border up, ship it out to sea. I give up. I hate it. Lost cause. I love Ronald Reagan more than any other president in our country next to Teddy Roosevelt. And he's from there. They've disgraced Ronald Reagan in California. Disgraced him. I'm sorry. People are the problem. Children understand. Uvalde, Texas, get them kids some help. Get them a psychologist or a therapist or a psychiatrist, or personally, two of the three. Definitely a psychiatrist in one of the other two. Get that work done. Get it over with sooner rather than later, because letting it ride out will equal manifest into other problems, and that just make it worse. Anyways, with that being said, if you just back up for 10 seconds, you don't be stupid, you don't look at the item that caused the problem, you look at the entity that caused that item to cause the problem, you find your problem. It's right here. It's the idiot behind the trigger, the idiot behind the knife handle, the idiot behind the fist. It's not the fist, it's not the knife, it's not the gun, it's not the car. That kid that hit that lady and her kid in the stroller, yeah. He's lucky I wasn't driving a truck that hit him, because I wouldn't have been so nice. I would have hit him, pushed into the wall, and continued driving until my truck wouldn't drive no more. But see, that's the difference between a good person and a horrible person. That guy out there was like, maybe this guy can be redeemed. No, he's a piece of shit. He's already tried to kill somebody before that. And he's not even 18 yet. He's a teenager in a car trying to kill people. To hell with his parents. Their parents and him, all three need to take a lovely visit to prison. Better yet, send the parents to prison, give the kid a choice. Marine Corps or prison. Even though the Marine Corps is not what it used to be no more. I understand that. But trust me, it works. I've seen it. Marine Corps or prison. And I'm saying that openly because I know they use stress cards now, little bitches. I ain't stupid. My whole point is there's no accountability. You got people like you and me that sit back, we take the blunt of it. We sit here and get accused of this. You hear people say this.
I get my head.
Ultimately, what it boils down to is it's people that go, you sound kind of stupid right now. We're the ones that actually make everything happen. All the idiocracy they're doing is funded by people like you, me, Jesse, my mom, your mom, all the people who work and pay taxes. Yeah, no thanks. That's not what we want, not what we stand for, not what we grew up with. You're an idiot. But back to California.
Not what works.
Yeah. If you want, I'm at that point. Our government needs to do that. You want to be like that? There's a state for you. It's called California. Leave. Nowhere else in this country is going to be like that anymore. They need to do that.
Oregon and Seattle suck too. And Washington State, sorry, they've turned.
Well, I don't want to give them the whole coast because I like Oregon.
Well, me too, but there's a lot of idiots across all of those places.
Okay,
Sadly.
fine. You want to do that?
Take Seattle.
I need you to lift 3 racetracks, take them out of the state, then do whatever you want. Get the whole coast over there to who all the idiots you want. You know, you can make that whole country right there. The United States of stupid. All 3 states.
We have an idiot problem and a crime problem and doing anything you want. I mean, my beautiful closing argument for all of
I
it.
hate
really,
that because I like
every
California.
every time it comes down to when someone runs over people with a car, we don't blame the car. When someone goes on a mass stabbing, we don't blame them. When someone gets drunk and then kills somebody, we don't blame the alcohol or the car and try to ban them. But whenever anyone shoots anyone, it's automatically always the gun's fault coming out of the left. Unless it's in Chicago or Baltimore or DC, because they actually don't give a goddamn about anyone dying there. They kind of prove that every day.
You have another statement to make. I know it's going to sound like conspiracy theory because that's the same thing I was told when I made a statement a couple of years ago about certain other things, and I was 110% right on them. Joe Biden right now is banking on the midterm elections to not work in the favor of any Democrat. He is banking on that. I don't care what anyone says. Joe Biden, I promise you with every bit of my being, is banking that Republicans dominate the midterm. He's banking on it because he knows if all these retarded policies that his co-conspirators have lined up happen, it's the end. Like, that's the end. He's relying on courts and state elections to save our country because he knows he can't. He knows he's overwhelmed by the progressive people. No one in this country can financially justify eliminating student debt. No one, let me rephrase that. No one who can think or has competency levels can give me an answer to that. That's legit.
Fair.
Sorry, I'm done. That's
There we go.
my soapbox.
Well, you were definitely on it today. That happens. All I gotta say is,
well, but it's partially problematic because I heard about this get brought up the other day in the news about here over here in Chicago, or not Chicago. Sorry, Monroe, where that school shooting happened over here, but towards Detroit. That was brought up again the other day in the news. I'm like, I'm sorry. I live here. I can promise you that again was a stupid person problem. The kid's parents knew what was going on. We're texting him about it, telling him not to do it. But yet, instead of texting your kid, you can simply went, my son's an idiot, won't listen. I need you to arrest him before he kills somebody. That phone call was never made. So as far as I'm concerned, mom and dad, you can spend every waking breath you have till the day you die in prison. And all these kids that get shot that do that, all these kids go do these school shootings and they get shot by the cops. I don't think that's fair. You know why? Because you don't get into the head of them kids. You don't understand why they did it. Where was the breakdown? Like the kid that shot his grandma.
Shoot him in
I
the
still
kneecaps.
can't get over that part.
Shoot him in both kneecaps.
The kid shot his grandma in the face. That's beyond bad human.
That's it. We have a garbage human being problem. And everyone can blame it on whatever they want this and the other way. Movies, guess what? Lots and lots of movies with guns and violence throughout the whole entire history, especially video. Guess what? No one was doing all that. What we have a crazy person problem. We have a lack of parenting problem. We have a lack of discipline problem. We have a lot of thing problem minus laws. There's lots of those. And for some reason, I mean, someone on Twitter literally on the one post asked literally straight as could be, was arguing with people, asking why there was a gun in a gun-free zone like that. Like,
because there was no guns to stop the other guns.
Like this is beyond a McFly. This is beyond a Jethro Gibbs. Maybe Jethro swung like a shovel at the back of his head. Yeah,
that ain't even "are you fucking kidding me" moment.
That's like and they argued with people like, but please let it just be a bot. What? No one can actually be that. Oh, never mind. People can actually be that stupid. Like, please, God, don't be true. Don't be true. No, it's real. God, stupid.
There's no acceptable answer either.
Like, we need to harden targets, get more and better trained police officers, and actually lock motherfuckers up.
I don't know.
Keep them in there where they belong. And guess what? Crime would actually go down. Harden the schools. I bet you There might be people that still try.
Well, I
They-
mean,
but they
no,
are
I have-
not going to get anywhere near what they've been doing at these schools because for some reason everyone, again, they happen all the time and everyone keeps pulling how many times is this going to happen? Well, how long until you actually do something to harden the target to make it stop happening?
well, I don't think cops. Okay, so you and I agree both 100%. You got to harden the school. I don't know.
Oh,
that
I'd say it
to
has to be.
say-
I didn't like you can have
No, I'm going to go down this road. 'cause people
combat
say
vets.
cops.
You can have combat vets. There's so
Well,
many
that's where I was going to go with it. A lot of people say cops, and I'm like, no, because I look at this like this. When I was in high school, out of all the police officers that I ever seen in the school, only one of them that I ever cared to walk into school and see. And that was because Hillard, and I'm going to say his name because he was the greatest sheriff that's ever been in Jackson County. Fight me on it. Good luck. Convince me otherwise.
Yeah, I just
Officer Hillerski was the best school cop I've ever seen in my life. Outside of him, though, I've never seen another good one. But I also know at Island City Academy, that's not a public school. I almost went there, but age-wise, I didn't go because I would have only had a half a year there. So it sucked.
carry on.
I wish I would have been able to go there. They didn't have these kind of problems there.
a lot.
You couldn't even have your hair cut wrong without being questioned.
What did I say? Like, have them. You could because the police.
And there's no
Normally,
cops.
the police officers are the ones that normally guide traffic, and do that. So for schools and stuff, so have them there to do that, and then you literally wouldn't even probably have a hard time finding combat vets, right? That would have no problem
Exactly. That was where I was going to go with
sitting
that.
at the entry points.
Springport, bumfuck Egypt, out in the middle of nowhere. I went there, beautiful school. There's no cop, right? No cop in Springport. There isn't Northwest. There's none. No. At least when I went to school, there wasn't in Springport. When I went to school in Springport, you could still walk. You had off-campus lunch in high school. You could walk down to the pizza parlor, get food for lunch. Anyways, backing up. They closed Albion School District. Albion is like Chicago of Michigan. You don't want to go there. There's always been problems. Well, it's starting to get better now, but that's because everybody's moved away. But anyways, all those shitty ass kids that went to Albion ended up going to Springport. And literally the school year that LS started, the summer before that, they got rid of off-campus lunch. They added police officers and they added farmers. Because it's a farm community. And a lot of the farmers around there are veterans. They don't like stupid. They don't like idiocracy. They like to grow their shit, drink, have a good time, and be happy to go to church on Sunday. That's how a lot of those guys do their work. And they like racing. I don't know what to tell you, but they're very simplistic people over there. Very simplistic. They brought the kids from Albion there. They've had problems. Educations went downhill. All that is bad kids, bad people. That goes back to a people problem. But if you go to the officer side of that in the school itself, Northwest has problems. Western has problems. They have cops. I can tell you right now, you put an asshole like you or me in there, we're usually pretty fun people to get along with. You usually get along with almost everybody. You act up stupid, can't guarantee I'm going to be a nice person. Can't even guarantee I'm going to be a human to you. But that's the difference between right and wrong. They're not willing to put officers where they belong and put veterans in schools. Why not put the veterans there? Officers are already understaffed as it is. Most police departments are understaffed. I feel like that's a confident statement to make. With that being said, you look at these school districts trying to put police officers in there. I can get you 25 veterans today that could work at schools. You give me 5 days, I might get you 125 or 150 veterans from the area to go work at these schools for probably free if you want them to, and keep idiots from coming in there. That's all you got to do.
Takes a little
But
bit.
it boils down to people, and the cops aren't always the solution. I heard about the student resource officer thing the other day. Everybody's talking about that. Officers are only good to a degree. What if you have a person who's like me? It's not that I am out to go against that cop, but I also don't like the cop. I just don't want nothing to do with the cop. I would rather have a veteran that is in charge of our management as far as security goes and deal with that person than I would a cop. And I guarantee when I was in school, I probably would have been the same way. I didn't necessarily care for the cops as well as I did other veterans. Like recruiters. There you go. Put recruiters in schools. You want to get numbers for the military? If you got a recruiter in every school, you're bound to get numbers, but you're also going to have security. And I also agree with the other part of this, that it has nothing to do with people other than the person making the decision. You only need one opening and shutting set of doors during the school day. Why does every other fucking door in the building need to be unlocked?
Then you
Now,
really,
it
then
does
you really
also
fortify
have
those extra
I
ones.
have to. I also have to play devil's advocate because Northwest School District's retarded. They have portable schools. They have portable classrooms outside the actual building.
Oh, those trailers.
Yeah, white
Over-
trash. You want to know
overflow.
what's like that? Because they have a whole bunch of white trash subdivisions in that school district. We won't go there. It's a whole other conversation on its own. But my whole point of that is when you have a people problem, you can't manage it with an officer. You can't manage it with equipment. You have to have people managing people. The principals suck. They're not going to be able to catch it. The whole point of it is if you have the wrong people in charge of the shit, it's never going to change. And that's what happens every time.
It's always been a people problem. But again, police officers, veterans, recruiters, like there's so many things you could do to make it so these things to actually make it stop. Like you could actually do it if you
It could stop it.
stop
Stop
just-
it.
if you-
Not
if you
minimize.
just stopped going after guns, like and actually went after the problem. It's like
And the other
crime.
part of that is half of them veterans don't even need a gun to do that job.
Yeah, it's just
I don't need a gun. I could do that job without a
it's
gun.
not a crime. It's an idiot
I
problem.
can't guarantee somebody still wouldn't get hurt if they were stupid because they would.
It's just-
But
it's a people problem. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Everyone that likes to argue with me. What is any
directed
law?
to Chuck.
What is any law they've done with anything done to make it go down? You notice crime keeps going in that direction.
That's the other thing.
Jesus Christ, I didn't
When-
mean to.
No. This is your point right here. When they do what you just said and the numbers keep going up, should that not be a cue to go, wait, oh,
No, that's a cue for them to make more laws because apparently that's gonna,
thank you. You just proved my point.
they make more laws and more laws and more laws. You guys aren't realizing criminals don't care about laws because
That's like your buddy in the $1,000 for 5 rounds. You know, that guy's an idiot. That guy's a true idiot.
make it illegal for them to make their own rounds. It's illegal for them to be in possession of a round.
It's illegal for them to shoot people, and yet they're still.
So how would that 400 million plus
How many people is in the country total right now?
400 330 million something, but there's 400 million plus firearms.
If guns kill people, there should be no people.
It's million sure. If there was a gun problem, there'd literally be like 9 people living right now because there's that many guns to kill everyone.
Exactly.
It's not blind to anything. You're just an idiot. You're blind, actually. If anyone's blind, the stats are right there. Takes about 14 seconds.
And if guns killed people, how many people have died not at the hands of Ted Nugent then?
That man has a lot of guns.
That man has a shit ton of guns. He's never killed nobody, nor has his
Firearms. Yeah. Just the way it is. But I'll close it on that and plant more trees and put the solar panels on roofs.
Exactly. I agree 100%. Plant trees, put them on your house. Solar panels on a house.
Yeah. Hey,
Don't put the trees on your house. That could be bad.
there's people that will do it. There's people.
Yeah, don't give them no ideas.
People are dumb. People are really, really dumb. It's mesmerizing how
I was
stupid.
checking my notes, sorry.
It was mesmerizing how dumb someone could actually be. But that's it. End it on a positive note. Take care of the planet, people. And don't listen to anything they're saying. And you can get less reliant on fossil fuels with solar farming on top of buildings in your own roof. And the more deforesting you do to build buildings, even though there's already a bunch of vacant buildings, is what actually is helping to raise the temperature of the planet because there's nowhere for anything to.
The energy companies,
They know
put in some solar fields on your buildings because you have a lot of them.
a
Don't lie.
lot. A lot. especially even the little ones. Right? You could put them up on there just to provide power,
I
just for
mean,
that little thing. And if you take a bunch of little buildings off the grid, that's still better than
well, if
flattening
you want to put it in
fields.
dumb terms, look at your room you're in right now. That room, that size of your room, that square footage could literally produce 10K an hour, 10 kilowatts an hour in the sunlight.
Especially
So,
down here.
well, anywhere. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yep.
the amount of solution availability there is to a huge problem that is decided by ignorant people is mind-boggling.
Ignorant people that have stakes in all of the companies that would be producing.
Could make money.
Yeah, they're doing it. Well, they've I'm not even getting into it, but
Mhm.
that's where I'll leave it. So thank you, everyone. Thank
For
Walter.
using solar panels in the proper place.
Thank Walter for showing up like over an hour late and being on a soapbox. He showed up late and he was on a soapbox. How rude. Made it easy for me though. And we go back, I'll actually time it, like the amount of time I talk throughout this whole thing. They either
Oh,
might,
it's going to
they
be an
either
hour and
might-
45 to 15 or something.
they
like
it'd
that.
be like, bet you my actual talking probably comprises about 10 to 15 minutes of it. And that includes introduction and now. I think Walter breathed for like 5 minutes, but it was good. Good pods. Thank you, everyone on there. Don't forget, videos also YouTube, Rumble, and Cloud Hub. When I'm with Walter, I share them on Facebook and the Twitter page, which is Jay Rosinski Show, and you can see some of the arguments that I get with people. And even no matter how you're listening to it, whether it's Amazon Music, Castbox, Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, Good Pods, any of them, you can go subscribe to the YouTube and Rumble channels, hit like on the video, write a little, your response and a little comment underneath it, because that does help bump us up automatically, and review it.
Say Spotify?
And review it. You leave a review for the episode and the shows, what that also automatically bumps us farther up. More reviews you have, the better it is. And I don't want to be a mark and review my own show, because then then I will feel like a dick. So do all that, and I'll be back Friday. Talk about God knows what. He'll be back on Friday on the racing show, so he could be on a soapbox about something. Because sure, there's something we could find about Ford's performance and TRD and how they, provide and build around their drivers and support people, which they kind of suck at. And we'll be back next Wednesday to talk about God knows what. Maybe the border numbers will come out. They probably won't, but
I was having a Kurt Busch day today, I think.
we could have, Oh no, Kurt Busch is the man. I mean, come on, he did 60 minutes and he put a clock over our head. Well, sorry, he watched 60 minutes. There's a clock. Boom, put a big digital clock over his head. Now you can tell if it's being edited. Like, okay, buddy, what? He's come to that level of the world. But thank you again. Rate them, give it a review. Follow along on the Facebook page, Twitter thing. Good Pods. We love you. And there's a million shout outs to them and how good they're at the beginning of the show too. So do something. And I'll be back later. So until Friday, deuces.
Peace.